comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Hung Over. Note to self, if I'm going to be celebrating the end of the semester for school, don't go partying till 3 in the morning the day before you're going to do your show. It doesn't end well. Especially since this week I was so pleasantly surprised with how many great picks there are. I'm going to do a 0.5 episode. So congratulations, people. You'll be getting 0.5 on Sunday. But moving on, let's get right to the pick of the week. From Image Comics, we have Four Eyes #3, written by Joe Kelly and art by Max Fiumara. Now, as usual, I've been loving the past 2 issues. It's just the whole concept, if you're not familiar with it, of dragons existing back in the Great Depression. We follow this one boy, Enrico, who lost his father, who was a dragon hunter. And Enrico's finally got a job, as he's going to be, pretty much bait for this upcoming day of work, or as they call it, flushers. Because what the flushers do is they go into the caverns and the caves and get the dragons to come running out after them, while the hunters go in, sneak in from behind, and steal all the dragon eggs. So that's what Enrico's job is today. And of course he gets picked on, and everyone's like, oh, get this kid out of here. He'll just be a little snack. We'll throw him to the dragon as we try to run the other way, which they do later on. But Enrico, he tries to be proud and tough, and he has his father's old dragon hunting gloves on, so he's pretty much ready to rock and roll. Well, they find the dragon, or the other way around, the dragon finds them and pretty much annihilates everyone in that cave. Only a few survivors make it out, and the dragon hunters obviously come out without a scratch on him with the eggs in tow. And the only reason Enrico survived is he actually accidentally fell into a pit of dragon crap. And so when the dragon tried to smell him, he couldn't smell him, he could only smell his own shit. And Enrico makes a discovery of an egg that's left in there, and it starts to hatch. It's like, oh, it's a baby little four-eyed dragon. Which brings us back to the title, which we saw in the first issue, of on the cover, Enrico and this tiny little dragon. So now we're going to see where the boy gets his dog, or dragon. I thought it was a fantastic issue. I've been loving this. Joe Kelly, it's just like a new renaissance for the man. He's everywhere, just giving his 110% on each title. So bravo, Mr. Kelly. Bravo, Mr. Fiumara. The art was gorgeous. Now on to the Fast 5. First up, from Vertigo, we have Jack of Fables #34. This is continuing on to the Great Fables crossover, and Jack's not in his title anymore. He went over to the Fables title, and now Bigby, Snow White, and the rest of the gang, they inherit his wacky problems that would only happen in his book. Bigby's turned into a chimpanzee by Kevin, the literal who's wants to rewrite the world, but he just can't. He doesn't know why. But so Bigby goes from chimp to donkey to elephant to pink elephant, and then finally at the end of the issue, a little blonde-haired little girl, and he just goes, someone's gonna die tonight. And it's very, very funny to see all these transformations going on for poor Bigby. Very fun issue. We see the Page sisters go on the road. They're gonna kick some ass of their own. They don't want to sit and wait to die in the diner. So it's been such a great fun crossover, and it was a great fun issue. Next up from Marvel, we have Punisher #5. Now, in the last issue, we saw Frank Castle decked out in all this cool armor, and he gets to use all those fancy weapons and toys in this issue when he's trying to get to the Hood and Microchip. He infiltrates the Hood's base by pretty much death by pizza. He shrinks down to the pizza, shoots his way out of bad guys' mouths, and just goes on a still killing spree. Goes up against the Hood's goons. Microchip is saying, hey, he brought me back. Maybe he can bring your family back. And Frank says, no, I don't want to do any deals with the devil, thank you very much. And then blows up the entire place with C4. If it's going to be just constant clashing between the Punisher and the Hood, I think the Hood's going to eventually grow tired of losing all these guys and tell Osborn to take care of his own problems. But Rick Remender has been doing such a fantastic job on this title that I highly recommend you go out and support him. Next up from Dynamite, we have, from the pages of the boys, Herogasm #1. Now, as the title, or as the front cover might suggest, things get raunchy in this issue. I remember back when I first was reading The Boys, all this explicit, hardcore, just this nudity, all this sexual deviancy, and everyone's just like making a big uproar about how and this is just doing it for shock value, and like, oh, this isn't good storytelling, this is just smut on our pages. Well, that's what you get in Herogasm, because if you've been paying attention to the boys, last couple of issues and arcs, they haven't been as wild and crazy like the first beginning stuff was. If you missed that, pick up this the first issue to this miniseries. All the heroes go away on vacation, while the public thinks they're off fighting like a Skrull-like race for a covert intrusion, secret invasion, very funny, while they're just in Costa Rica having a big gangbang orgy, and it just gets really wild and raunchy. And if you like that kind of stuff, I just let myself go. I had a fun time, and there's a lot of little moments in there that will make you laugh. But yeah, warning to younger viewers: get your parents' permission before picking up this title, because. Next up from DC, we have Superman Batman number 60. Now, I picked up, as a Fast 5 title, Superman Batman in the past, and it's because of the fun stories that Michael Green is just constantly giving us. In this one, Batman and Superman are in an alternate dimension, where the city is Gothamopolis, and it's run by the Justice Titans, and their roll call includes Flash, Donna Wonder, Hawk Beast, Night Lantern, Aquaborg, and Star Canary. And it's just all these fun little mashups of all these different characters that we all know and love, and it's just a very cool little costumes. They're up against Doomstroke, which is a breed between Deathstroke and Doomsday, and we find out the villain at the end is Lex Joker. This was wild, zany fun, and I had such a fantastic fun time reading this title. I would pick up this title if I were you. And finally this week from Marvel, we have Wolverine Weapon X number 2. And what Jason Aaron does in this issue is something that I've never seen happen before. And I'll get to that in a second. But we follow Logan as he makes his way to Columbia. He's asking the locals, just partying up with them, trying to get some intel on where Blackguard might be. Turns out Blackguard's been following him. Two guys want to make their attack, but Logan beats him to the punch. And there's a big, epic fight between Logan and these two Blackguard troops, where apparently they're not mutants, but they have tons of healing nanites in their bodies. That's their healing factor. And then they also have adamantium skeleton, and Wolverine's thinking, oh, well, at least, you know, they don't have the claws. Well, they do, and they're energy blades. And so these hurt Logan. He goes, oh, this must be what it feels like when I stab someone with my claws. So the three of them are all battling, and no one's losing. And so more troops come in to help support the Blackguard troops, and what Logan does, which I've never seen him do, he runs. He hightails it out of there, and everyone's thinking, what a coward. But in reality, he's luring them into the jungle where he can, you know, have the advantage instead of out in the open. But still, it was a very cool issue, and Jason Aaron did something I've never seen before. He made Logan run away from a fight, no less. So that was very, very cool. Well, comic book fans, that does it for Cammy's Comic Corner this week. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, go to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can subscribe to us on the RSS feed or on iTunes. And if you see that I didn't review a book that came out this week, and you're like, what the hell? Where the hell's this book? Why didn't you talk about this book? Go to the site, look under the reviews, and usually by Friday, Saturday, I have every single book that I read this week, a little tiny review for them. So then you can see maybe why I didn't like it, why I did like it, etc. Also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you see me wearing, I love this t-shirt. Scalped. Oh, so amazing. Thank you, Jason Aaron. Head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has an entire catalog of DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, Vertigo, anything you want. He can make it up. If you want a certain customized hero t-shirt, give the man an email and watch him work his magic. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts. That is Kelly over at www.deadlinegraphics.net. And also, head on over to www.rsc-online.com. Rising Sun Creations is my newest sponsor for this month, and they have all kinds of collectible toys imported straight from Japan. They specialize in manga, and they also specialize in U.S. comic books. It's like the best of both worlds in one comic book / manga store. Head on over to their site and check out their online store as well, and you can see what they have to offer for you today. And thanks to Rising Sun Creations, they are sponsoring the contest for this month. If you want a copy of Stephen King's Dark Tower, The Gunslinger Born, send me an email at cammyscomiccorner@gmail.com with your shipping address. And please, let's keep this to U.S. residents only. So thank you once again to Rising Sun Creations for sponsoring such a kick-ass contest. Well, comic book fans, that really does do it for this episode. Check back for Sunday for the .5 episode. And if you'll please excuse me, I need some sleep before the No Doubt concert tonight, because coffee's not keeping me awake, and I have such a throbbing headache. Advil, please sponsor this show. Good night, everybody.